Dear viewers of South Sudan TV, of course you're watching Youth of Today. My name is Soro David, and I am your host for today's episode. Viewers of Youth of Today, a pleasure to have you with me today on this program of today, which is we're looking at countdown as Independence Day is approaching. We're left with few days to come, and that's why I'm here with my guests into the studio. We will be discussing about the countdown and how the preparation have gone and among the youths actually. And I'm pleased to have my guests in the studio. I think I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. You guys, you're welcome, and I would start by you introducing yourself.
Well, my name is William Akok. That is my first and last name, but usually go by William Ball Philip Akot. Okay. And so that's my name.
Pleasure having you. What about you?
My name is Malek Kuoc, and I go by Anjelo Malek. And I work for Kuoc Petroleum here in Juba International Airport.
Good.
And I'm happy to be here tonight.
Nice having you guys on board, and pleasure being with you for today's program, our program on countdown on Independence Day, which is soon getting in. First of all, what can you tell me about independence itself by the virtue?
Independence, based on my humble opinion, basically means not depending on somebody else. So since 1956, basically that used to be our independence when Sudan was one country.
Good.
But since last year, July 9th, 2011, South Sudan has become independent. Good. In other words, South Sudan is now not dependent on the North. And that is, to me, that's what it means, basically.
Okay. What do you have to say, Mr. Paul?
I mean, I'm not going to be far away from what Bola said, but in my analysis is, I think, independent is a governor. You know, we as a Southern to govern ourselves, to be the nation, and to explore our country to be like other nations in the world. And again, it is being free in your own land. Yeah. And have a territory, you know, etc. And it goes farther.
We are counting down for independence. That is, I think, 7 days to come so soon. That what does it mean to the young people of South Sudan, especially the youth?
It really means a lot. We have overcome for to this day. And I'll take examples for myself. You know, came from U.S. To where, you know, the lifestyle is even better than here. But you know, having a gut as a youth of what you feel about your country, it's the reason why we're here today. So it really means a lot, and being part of this building nations and setting your roots and being able to overcome of what we've been through since we were in the North, basically.
So, Mr. Ball, what do you have to say?
Basically, I totally agree with what Malek have just said, and just to build on what he has already said, what I would add is this: being a youth in today's world means basically you are the future.
Good.
The young people, the young people are the future of this country. So basically, in my opinion, we have to be involved. We have to participate in the economic, political, cultural, environmental aspect of basically nation building in South Sudan.
That's great. Mr. Ball, you guys have been in diaspora for a very long time. I think I will first ask you that, when did you come to South Sudan?
Meaning, when did I first come to South Sudan, or when did I
come back home
and move here?
Good.
Basically, I came back last year in April. That was the first time I came. So I came in April, and I have been here since April of last year, 2011. I have been back a couple of times, or 3 times actually, but I feel at home. So I love being here.
Now, what inspired you to come home? Because when you look at previously outside youths, kind of environment used not to look like it is today. What is the inspiration? What is the target that led you?
To be honest, I'll tell you, just maybe it's two things. The first would be, there's a saying that goes, sweet home.
Good.
So maybe that is one of the
East-West home
reasons.
is the best,
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
The other reason would be basically, I've lived outside of South Sudan, or Sudan in general, for a very long time, an extended period of time. And there was a time when I just, I don't know, had this kind of a longing basically to go back home.
All right.
Because I feel like my roots, I belong here more than any other part of the world. So basically that's why I wanted to come back. So I came back, like I said, in April last year, like they say, to test the waters. And I stayed here for 1 month.
That's great.
And then I went back. But then when I went back, it didn't feel the same again. I felt like I wanted to come back again. So what I keep telling my friends who are still outside now is, once you come to Juba, you'll come back again.
Good. Mr. Anjelo, what do you have to say?
You know, a part of what Bull is saying, you know, love of the nation, you know, love of my country, basically. But what really inspired me and motivated me to come back,
Good.
It might be a little bit emotional,
I don't know.
but if you were watching out there as a youth, I want you to control your emotion a little bit.
Right.
We all, as a youth, we experience life in general in South Sudan.
All right.
What our people went through, etc. But mainly, what really motivated me to come back is that, you know, young men who took the gun and joined the bush, who were not aware where he's going to sleep tonight,
All right.
or the next day, who were not afraid of a snake bite. That young man or elderly man who were not afraid of, you know, being bombed, air bomb, and who were not afraid of being attacked by the Sudan force.
That's
When
right.
I see that, I see my picture in it.
That's right.
And also, on that little girl who was being molested, being raped by the Sudan force at the time. When I see this and I think about it, I see my picture in it.
All right.
It's all about the lost boy, the young boys who have left their parents, you know, for the crisis.
Okay, it was your emotional
Inspiration.
experience
Basically.
that have made you to come home.
Basically.
We have many youths outside in the diaspora, as you mentioned. Do you think they have the same intensity like you?
I believe they do. You know, I've experienced being interacting with youth a couple of times in diasporas. And the way I see youth, especially the South Sudan youth in the diaspora, they are very motivated.
Good.
You know, they're very unique. Let me just put it that way. They're ambitious. They're willing to do what is necessary
All
for
right.
them.
All right.
They know that they're not going to be outside there for a long period. They will come back home someday. In order for them to come back, what will they bring back? You know, they always have a plan for that.
Okay.
So that's basically what I would say about the youth.
What about you, Mr. Bull?
Based on my personal experiences, basically I think Malek have said it all. So what I would have to add at this point is this. I mean, I like what he said, and it's true. Like he said, it's moving. I mean, if you think about it, the people who sacrificed their lives, their limbs, their time. So basically, they were in the bush, in the jungle, for what, 25 years or what? How long was it before we gained the independence, basically?
That's right.
So these people have sacrificed their lives and a lot, basically, to make sure that we have an independent South Sudan. And when you look at it from that perspective, it kind of motivates you. It kind of inspires you, basically, when you are, especially in the diaspora.
Right.
You feel like you want to be part of that. You want to contribute at some point, because if you are originally from here, then you basically belong here. That is where your roots are. And just to build on what he said, I just want to quote what one American president, former American president said when he was campaigning in the U.S. basically some decades ago. the former president that I'm talking about is John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy, yeah.
When he was campaigning, basically, one of the things that he said, and it's one of my favorite quotes actually,
Good.
is he was telling the American people, don't ask what will my country do for me, but what can I do for my country?
Right.
So basically, I would say maybe that was the idea behind, or the motivating factor that motivated me to come back. So that would be it.
And do you think most of the South Sudanese youth outside there have the same motivation?
Like Malek said, I believe a huge number of them have the same kind of motivation. But the other thing that is keeping them back, in my opinion, could be maybe because they have responsibilities already.
Right.
For example, some of them, if they are married, they have children.
Good.
They have bought houses.
Good.
It's not easy just to leave all of that and just move back.
Right.
So sometimes that is what is keeping some people back. The other thing that is keeping some of the other ones back could be just the fear of the unknown, because they are, especially if you have lived outside of South Sudan or Sudan for a very long time, and then you start thinking about moving back. The question that you ask yourself the question that you ask yourself is, how is it going to be like?
How am I going to
like
start?
it?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to adapt? So I think it's the fear of the unknown that is maybe keeping some people back from coming back here.
Now, Mr. Anjelo, what do you have to say about the preparation for independence that is coming so soon? That this is the first independence South Sudanese are celebrating. In fact, it's going to be very jubilating. When we look into the number of South Sudanese who are outside, like previously, others used to commemorate, they celebrate in East Africa and Australia, Canada, wherever they are. Do you think that will happen today? Also, celebration will also take place the other side, or people are thinking of coming to join it as one in home?
You know, I don't see the reason why not, because as Bol has just mentioned, most of the youth out there, you know, and this is just my opinion, you know, they might be afraid of coming back home because of these unknowns thing that they might fear of it. But you know, we've been here now. Me and Bol, we've been here for about a year.
Good.
And we have witnessed the independent, the first, and now we're going into anniversary of the first. So basically, I don't see the reason why they're going to be afraid of coming back home and be part of this celebration. Yes, it is very special for all of us.
All right, yeah.
We march to vote for the separation, and we've earned it. I don't see why not celebrating that moment.
Okay, what comparison would you give me in the preparation? Right now, you're in your country, in Juba, and preparing for the independence. What do you think is the preparation up to date, as you think? Or what do you have to say about that?
I would say the engagement. You know, just in general, to engage the youth. Pretty much they're all engaged. You know, as I walk in Juba town or drive around Juba town, I see someone buying their flags. You know, what does that tell you? Their pride of their country.
Nationalism.
They wanted to be, you know, be ready for that day. So it's not only that materialistically, but, you know, in the heart and spiritually, it's there for the youth, and I can witness that as well.
What do you have to say, Mr. Bol?
Regarding the independence and celebrations and youths, basically.
Right.
Again, I would just say basically, it's a great experience. And let me just go back and talk about my personal experiences here. Like I said, I first moved here last year. I mean, I first came actually with my mother.
Okay.
For April of last year. And I stayed for a little bit over a month.
Mr. Wall, I think you don't get me well. I'm like, it's the celebration. Those who are celebrating in the diaspora, like, because now the biggest celebration is in South Sudan today. Yeah. And when you look into the South Sudanese youth who are outside, definitely some of them would not afford to come back home and join the celebration here. May join to celebrate it in the diaspora. Do you think is logical? Is the way people like it, or do you think what do you have to say about that?
Well, again, let me just answer your question directly and then go back to my personal experiences. Right. So again, what I would say is, what they say is this: if something is important in your life, you'll make time for it. So anybody outside of South Sudan who is using the excuses like, I cannot afford to come back, or there's something keeping me back, I think it's just an excuse that you're giving yourself. And it's all about planning at the end of the time. I mean, at the end of the day.
Right.
If you want to do something, you just plan it ahead. July 9th, the Independence Day for South Sudan happens every year.
Good.
It's not something that happens accidentally.
Right.
So if you want to come, you can plan it. If you cannot make it this year, maybe you can plan it for next year.
Yes.
So that is what I would have to say. But let me just give me a few minutes to go back to my personal experiences.
Right.
So when I first came last year, like I said, I came with my mother. We stayed for a little bit over a month, and then I went back. But I made a point to come back on July 7th. That was when I landed here in Juba. And the reason I wanted to be back on July 7th was I wanted to attend this celebration, because this was, we were going to become independent.
Right.
So I did not want to miss that opportunity.
Okay, this is your second time to come. How is Juba today, as you see, generally?
Juba is one of the cities that is changing so fast. You just go away for 1 month, you come back, and you will notice a lot of things have changed. So it's a dynamic city. A lot of things are happening. It's exciting. It's interesting. If that were not true, why would I be here for 1 year?
Good, good. What is your personal experience, Mr. Anjelo?
Being as far as being
good, being in Juba today, and
you know, the personal experience is, you know, how far we came, we come across. When I first came, like Bob was saying, we were having a tough time moving around, because first, I don't know where to go around in Juba town. Second of all, I have no, basically, you know, close friends that can actually
access you to
me and show me the things. And the third thing is the job, the being able to support myself and support my family back home.
That's it.
And as you know, compared to today, it's totally different.
Right.
You know, this is where I wanted to be, even though, you know, if you compare my life, where I used to do in U.S. and compare here, back then, it was totally desperate. But you know what, I have that back.
You're talking of something you've been doing in the U.S. and sometime.
Yes.
But what have you been doing there?
Actually, I used to manage. I was a manager with the companies called Walmart. And I was very successful, gentlemen. Let me just put it that way.
Good.
Not just to say some good thing about myself, but this is the truth.